Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today on this Reseller Friday I'm going to answer some questions people had about reselling. The first one was very important. It was a question about when should I hire employees or outsource my business tasks. This is one where I feel many people make a fundamental error and hire or outsource way too soon. There are people who are listing 5 items a day on eBay and they're outsourcing their listing habit. 5 items. Now, I'm not criticizing you if you're only listing 5. It's perfectly fine. List however many you want. But it takes so little time to list 5 items. It's just an extra expense. Now, here's one of the things that happens. Sometimes people are listing 5 items a day, and that's what the most they can do right now because they're working a job and have other obligations. That's understandable. But then they think, well, I'll hire somebody to list 5 more a day. So I'll list 10 a day total. I'll list 5, and then this person I outsource to will list 5, and I'll have 10 extra items a day. That sounds good on the surface, but you have to know your numbers. What are your numbers? What is your average sales price? What is your sell-through rate? Do you know how long it takes for your average items to sell? Well, for average across eBay, it's 2 years. Even if you're doing 50% better than that, maybe it only takes you a year to sell your items. That means you have to buy 5 more items extra per day because you already had the 5 a day listing habit. You're adding 5 more. So you have to buy 5 more items a day for an entire year before you start getting some profits from those and getting some sales. It may take you another year after that to even break even. And many people do this, and what happens is they just spin themselves right out of business. I've seen this happen so many times. I bought so many businesses from other eBay sellers, buying out their products from them because they overspent. And it's so common in the resale world that just go talk to the average reseller and ask them about their death piles. They have what's quote unquote death piles of stuff sitting around not being listed, and they keep buying more inventory. So you can see how this will just go nowhere fast, or at least nowhere good fast. It's going somewhere, but it's not good. So I would say when you're going to hire somebody or outsource some of the tasks in your business, it needs to be when you have reached the maximum potential of what you can do each and every day. Not because you want to take time off, not because you want to be lazy, not because you don't want to work anymore. Those are all things that will lead to a complete disaster, because here's what will happen. You'll outsource all your tasks to somebody else. They don't care about it as much as you because it's not their business. They'll do things poorly. You'll be too lazy to check and double check what they're doing. You'll start to get defects. You'll start to have problems on your account. You get more item not as described. And next thing you know, you're getting suspended or getting your seller status lowered, and you're getting barely any traffic just because you didn't want to work. So please, I'm pleading with you, make sure that when you're hiring somebody else or you're outsourcing, it's when you've maxed out your potential of what you can currently accomplish with the time you have in the day to allocate to your reselling. That simple. Because those people who are, oh, I'm going to double my listing goal by having somebody do another 5 a day. Well, now you got to go spend more time sourcing. Do you have that time? Is that extra time you're sourcing going to take more than if you just listed items yourself? These are all things to consider. And I do want to make a note about there are some services out there that will list for you. There's a couple AI services. Some of them I'm not even sure if they're actually AI. I think maybe there's more of a Mechanical Turk type thing where it's just somebody doing it and they're calling it AI because the results are poor. It takes a long time to get the listings done. Nothing about it screams AI. Everything about it seems like a slow, outsourced person. But you definitely don't need to be paying money to have a poor listing made for you. That's as good as not listing your item at all, because no one will ever find it if the listing's bad. But another thing is some of these services are charging huge amounts of money, $1.50, $2, or whatever, per listing. You can literally hire somebody, train them, and have them listing $10, $20 an hour or whatever, maybe more, and you'll pay way less than that. And at least you have some control over the person and the quality of the listing than if you're just outsourcing to someone. And I've seen some of these services that are out there, and seeing complaints from people talking about how terrible they are and how they just took their money and ran and didn't do anything. You don't need to be inviting that kind of nonsense into your business. For most people, you don't need to be outsourcing. You don't need to be hiring anyone until you get your business fully under control. You're an expert at what you're doing and you've maxed out your potential, and now you need someone else to come in so you can scale the business up, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're just barely doing anything and you want to just stop working as much, that's a road to disaster. Now, the other question was about offers. This person didn't like to have best offer turned on eBay because it just gave them lowball offers and they can't handle it. And listen, my friend, you got to treat this like a business. You can't get emotionally attached to your products, and because somebody sent you $1 offer, it is wrecking your day. Why would you even think a second more of it? You either decline it, which I don't recommend, or you send them a counteroffer and move on. That's it. That's simple. I don't know what these people are doing. Maybe these people go and they hit up 100 sellers, offer them $1 on $100 items, and maybe a couple sellers here and there take it, and so they can get an item for cheap and resell it. I don't know what's going on. Who knows? It didn't even matter to me. I got $1 offer today. I didn't care. I just sent them a counter offer that was a fair offer, and they accepted it. You never know what these people are doing. I had one person tell me one time that the reason they sent the low offer was to make sure I was still in business, because they had other sellers who didn't respond and didn't ship out. And so the offer was not them trying to lowball me. The offer is them trying to see if I was even around and how quickly I responded. So you have to factor that in. It may not be what you're thinking. You're thinking some maliciousness on this person's part. Maybe they're just testing you to see how quick you respond, because then they might have a chance of getting their product. If you respond quickly to an offer, you'll probably ship out quickly because you're there and you're attentive. Where if you don't even respond at all, they can know pretty certainly this person is not going to be a good seller, and they're probably not going to provide the best product, probably not going to even ship in some cases. Now, on the declining thing, some people want to just decline, and some people do decline, and you can do whatever you want. Obviously, it's your business. I would recommend you don't, because I have had times when I've been in the middle of counter-offering somebody, like we went back and forth 3 times. And listen, counter-offering takes 2 seconds. It's no big deal. Instead of declining them, I was counter-offering them back and forth. And then out of the blue, someone else comes in and buys the item for full price. Now, what's going on there is that when you are counter-offering and not declining an offer, you get a boost in the search algorithm. eBay boosts your product before more eyeballs, and you're more likely to get the sale because eBay sees you're playing. You're willing to make offers, you're willing to make deals for people, and so they're willing to boost you up in the search results. If you decline somebody, you remove all that from the mix. You just show eBay that I'm not willing to make deals, or that I'm taking things personally. And these are strikes against you. Now, I'm not talking about actual strikes on your account, but I guarantee you they know hundreds of data points on you as a seller, hundreds of data points on the buyer. I guarantee you some of these things are going to count against you, and it might be minimal, but it might just cost you a little bit of traffic here and there, and that's going to cost you sales. So I would suggest you respond to all offers. Don't decline any of them. Now, you can if you want. If you want to, that's fine. Sometimes people you can decline an offer and they'll immediately respond back with a fair offer, or they'll buy it at full price. Who knows what's going on? I'm just suggesting that you should make a counteroffer. It's good business practice. If you're going to have offers on, make a counteroffer. If you can't be bothered, then set auto decline. Now, I don't recommend that, but that's better than just declining stuff. Set auto decline to an offer that you would accept. And if somebody makes an offer above that, set automatic accept them. Then you don't have to mess with the offers at all. You don't have to get all emotional about it. It will accept an offer if it's above the amount that you say is fair, and it will decline all the rest of the offers. You don't have to even look at it in that case. So my friend, I want to encourage you. As this is being recorded on a Friday, being released on a Friday, I want you to think about, what is your upcoming week going to look like? Do you have a schedule in place? Do you know when you're going to source? Do you know when you're going to list? You need to really figure these things out, because the people who I know have been the greatest success in business, they have schedules. And I was not a person who liked schedules. I used to hate schedules. But when I started getting myself in order and getting scheduled, because I had to as a necessity, sometimes down to 5-minute intervals in some of my business endeavors, things just went so much more smoothly. It wasn't just like, oh, I guess I'll go sourcing now. Oh, I guess I'll list now. There's a set time to do it. There's a set time for me to do any of my tasks. There's a set time for the people working for me to do tasks. Everything has a schedule and everything runs smoothly. And I guarantee you, if you get yourself a schedule and you'll follow it, it'll be so liberating. It sounds like it's going to be binding. It sounds like it's going to be restrictive. It's not. It's freeing. You're the one making the schedule. So don't act like you could just make it something different if you want. You don't have to make it hard on yourself. So be realistic in the schedule, but do make a schedule. And get out in this next week and do well and become that great success that you were destined to be. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.